Good evening. This is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed the Commander of the Prevention and Combating of Corruption Bureau, PCCB, in Ruvuma Region, Hamza Mwenda, to arrest and interrogate 5 councillors from Mbinga District Council following allegations of using farmers' funds to sabotage the area intended to have the council headquarters built.
Kikao chenu cha 22 kwa Mzee Vincent mlichokubaliana mwanza kampeni kuzunguka wilaya nzima kushawishi halmashauri jengo huko.
I heard that all councillors had a meeting on 22nd with somebody called Mr. Vincent. I don't know him. You discussed about influencing construction of a council in Mkumbi and instructed all AMCOS groups to contribute between 600 and 3 million shillings to be used in your campaigns. AMCOS groups are agriculture marketing cooperative organizations meant for farmers, and you want to swindle their money to do your dirty business. That is corruption. I direct the manager of PCCB to look into this matter because it is an obvious act of corruption. So construction of administration block in Mbinga Council is complete with a total of 52 rooms. The building that you have launched today and ensure that services that are supposed to be provided are done at the required standard.
The exercise to lift wagons, which had overturned following a train accident that caused the death of 3 people and more than 90 injured in Bahi District, Roma region, has been completed, with rehabilitation of the railway underway so as to allow for other trains on the same line to pass. No more bodies have been found at the scene of the incident.
Rail transport is one among the safest means of transportation. Accidents rarely occurs, and once they occur, casualties are more than death. Even the engine is difficult to fall. That is why we wonder how this accident occurred. We are still doing investigations on causes of the accident.
Hakuna abiria wala mzigo abiria ambao umekwama hapa ndani.
There is no passenger, no goods that are stuck in the wagons, although the searching committee is still at work. All security organs are camping here to ensure safety of all assets. As the rain season is approaching, we advise that it is important for inspections to be conducted in all infrastructures as a means of avoiding more accidents to occur.
The President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Mwinyi, has sworn in new district commissioners and directed that the rights of the public should be a priority in their leadership.
Muondoe kero za wananchi na kuhakikisha kwamba wananchi wanapata haki zao. Ila ninalisema kwa sababu
you should address people's problems and make sure they get their rights. I'm saying this because there is still a lot of challenges.
Mimi nitatoa kama mwezi mmoja hivi. Waanze mapema.
I will give 1 month so they start early. Everyone who has been denied his right, it must be given back to him.
Kiingia wilayani niwahakikishie wananchi wa wilaya ya Kusini.
I assure the people that we will look at the statistics on the increase or decrease as far as this problem is concerned. But it is important that knowledge is imparted.
More than 20 families who are residents of Nyakafuru village, Nyakafuru ward, Bogwe district, Gator region, have claimed that over 60 acres of land has been illegally taken by gold mining company Mabangu Limited. They have urged the government to intervene and help them get it back.
Leo nakuja kunyang'anywa. Mheshimiwa mbunge, kwa kweli nimepata pressure kwa sababu ya mashamba haya.
This is stressing me so much. at this age.
Na hakuna mshimbaji hapa aliye na mashamba. Walio na mashamba.
There is no miner who owns a farm. It is not true that we've taken their farms.
Kwenye mkutano wa kijiji wamethibitisha kwamba watu 22.
I had a meeting with villagers and it was confirmed that 22 farms had been sold.
The Land Transport Regulatory Authority, LATRA, has officially announced the start of use of online ticketing for buses traveling to various regions from January 6th of this year and warned that buses that will not have the system to stop providing transport services or legal action will be taken against them.
Kwenye kanuni hizi, kanuni ya 4, kanuni ndogo ya pili inaeleza kwamba leseni ya kusafirisha abiria itatolewa kwa muombaji aliyesajiliwa kwenye mfumo wa tiketi za kielektroniki ulioidhinishwa na mamlaka. Hiyo ni kanuni.
Nao wamesema
baada tujaelewa na mpaka sasa abiria wanahitaji elimu kwanza. Kwa sababu watu wamezoea nani za kuandika mikono zikatasi.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Simon Siro, has said that there are still challenges within the traffic police force in the country, whereby some have continued to violate work ethics, which include soliciting bribes from drivers found to have committed traffic offences, as well as using offensive language.
Wanakuwa na barabarani, mara nyingi wamekuwa nalalamikia kosi yetu kwa swala la rushwa.
There are complaints regarding corruption on our roads. So we've agreed that this must be reduced. There are those that owe money in traffic fines and choose to hide their vehicles from the police and go as far as changing number plates.
A few weeks after traders at Musoma Municipal Central Market closed the road and inconvenienced pedestrians and motorists to pressurize the government to remove vendors who have been placing their wares at the entrances of the market, the government has intervened on the dispute by allowing the vendors to continue with their business activities.
Hakuna mtu anafukuzwa aliye na kitambulisho cha Dr. George Pombe Magufuli.
You will have a special arrangement. No one is permitted to sell outside the market entrance, blocking the road.
Kwa ni matarajio yangu kwamba hata katika hili wale wanaofanya biashara ya jumla.
We will have an agreement on wholesalers too, so that they have an area.
Sasa mkuu wa wilaya Ombile.
We're asking that a better system is applied regarding street hawkers so that a special area is set for them.
The police force in Arusha, in collaboration with the immigration department in the region, have arrested 8 illegal immigrants from Ethiopia who were found hidden underneath a car that was seized at the end of last year, with 4 other immigrants at Garamtoni area.
Kwa wakati zoezi la ukaguzi likiendelea, ndipo ilipobainika kwamba chini ya chassis.
While inspection was going on, we discovered that under the vehicle there were other migrants. This is very dangerous.
Namna ambavyo walikuwa wamekaa, namna ambavyo waliwekewa chaga zile.
Wahamiaji waliokamatwa kwa mara ya pili ni 8, leo kufanya idadi kuwa 12 tofauti na ile 4.
8 illegal migrants were arrested in the second round, bringing the total to 12.
Na idara ya uhamiaji tunaendelea na upelelezi kuhusiana na tukio hilo.
That is all for the national news. International news is next. In international news, all public and private learning institutions, including pre-primary level to universities, reopened today in Kenya after a 9-month break due to the coronavirus pandemic. Many students have reported to their respective institutions despite facing a few challenges, with the Ministry of Health emphasizing on the importance of adhering to COVID-19 prevention regulations.
Mimi ndiye mwalimu mkuu katika shule hii. Wote katika shule hii ni 1180.
In this school, there are about 1,080 pupils and 19 teachers. In one class, there are more than 100 pupils packed in one room. That is why more rooms are needed to allow these teachers to conduct their teaching duties in more favorable environment.
Tunasisitiza na tunasema wanafunzi wote wenye walipata mimba kama county education board na kama serikali.
More sensitization needs to be addressed to students who fall pregnant. As the government, we are still insisting on these girls to continue with school and leave their children at home. They cannot be denied the right to education. Even Honorable President Uhuru Kenyatta has made this clear several times.
The last group of African immigrants who is stranded in Libya have arrived in Rwanda as part of efforts taken by the Rwandan government to provide shelter to migrants from Africa crossing the Mediterranean Sea to look for a better life in Europe. This is the fourth and last group of 130 nationals from Eritrea, Sudan, Ethiopia and Somalia who arrived at Kanombe International Airport and tested for COVID-19 before being taken to Gashora Center in eastern Rwanda. President Paul Kagame in 2017 had said his country will be ready to provide shelter to African immigrants following a report on abuse of African migrants in Libya. The government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Health, has announced its intention to purchase the COVID-19 vaccine from AstraZeneca company, whose headquarters are in the UK. However, the government has not revealed when it will import and the quantity of the vaccine it plans to purchase. That's all for the international news. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production. Infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and now in business news. The Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade, Exod Kigahe, has said that the government will continue to sensitize investors to invest in agro-processing industries in order to address the problem of lack of reliable markets for farmers.
Mazao mengi sana ambao yanapotea katika msimu wa mavuno, hasa pale yanapokuwa matunda mengi, mazao mengi yanakosa masoko.
Many crops turns into waste during the harvesting season, especially fruits, due to lack of markets and factories to process them into making other products, thus leaving farmers with a burden of loss. As a country, if we had enough of such processing factories, then the whole meaning of industrial economy will come to life and help boosting the country's economy as well as personal incomes of all involved in the chain of production.
Lakini tunaomba serikali waangalie hiyo issue, watupe namna.
We are calling on the government to look into this matter by coming up with VAT pardon so that we could buy boxes in the country as a means of supporting our local industries. Most of avocado farmers are exporting their products to Mombasa because there is weekly schedule on exportation of such products. If the Dar es Salaam port will introduce such kind of schedule, then it will be easy for fruits farmers to use our port in exporting the products overseas.
Price inflation in Zanzibar has continued to decline, whereby in the month of November it went down from 1.0 to 0.5% in December last year.
Price inflation for non-alcoholic drinks has reached 0.9%, where previously in 2020 it was 2.5%. The number of people who accelerates economic growth is still the same, and all this information has been recorded well in our data system.
The Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Mashimba Ndaki, has directed directors of district councils with international fish markets not to impose fees without informing the ministry in order to eliminate complaints raised by traders on nuisance fees.
Lakini niseme tu kwa wakurugenzi wote walio na haya masoko ya kimataifa, kwa maana ya Kirumba kule Ilemela na kwa maana ya soko hili huku Chato. Wakurugenzi, naomba tuelewane. Sisi wizara hatutaki kuwa na kelele kwenye haya masoko.
That's where we leave off with business news. We'll be back with sports after this break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
And now in sports. Simba SC coach Sven Vandenbroek has maintained FC Platinum are not a big threat to the ambitions of reaching the group stage of the CAF Champions League. Here's more.
The two sides will face off in the return leg at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium on Wednesday, with the Zimbabwean champions enjoying a slim advantage of a 1-0 win secured from the first leg, played in Harare a week ago. Despite trailing heading into the second meeting, the Belgian tactician has maintained that he did not deserve to lose the first leg battle and that his opponents are not a threat to deny them a chance to progress to the group stage. In a previous interview, Platinum coach Norman Mapeza stated they are in Tanzania to finish the job they started in Zimbabwe when they faced Simba.
Yanga Sports Club winger Carlos Carlinhos has revealed why he was unable to achieve his targets with the club in 2020. Here is the story.
The Angolan star joined Yanga at the start of the 2020-21 season on a 2-year contract from GD Inter Club, but struggled to claim a starting role, with injuries putting him out of the starting squad for most of the first-round matches. Despite starting well, earning 3 assists and 2 goals, Carlinhos was injured and even missed the derby against sworn rivals Simba Sports Club. Carlinhos has now admitted he could not achieve anything with the team due to a series of injuries, but promised fans he will come back stronger in 2021.
Kieran Trippier's 10-week ban for breaching FA rules on gambling has been put on hold pending an appeal. Here's more.
They announced Trippier's suspension last week, effective immediately, having found him guilty of betting offences relating to his departure from Tottenham Hotspur for Atletico Madrid in the summer of 2019. Trippier maintains that he neither bet on nor benefited personally from bets placed on his transfer, but had not expressed any intention to appeal against the ban. Atletico Madrid, whose coach Diego Simeone described the punishment as completely unjust, had requested that the case be revised and asked both the Spanish Football Federation and FIFA to intervene. Atletico had not been involved in the investigation at any stage nor informed of its progress, and questioned a judgment that in effect benefited the England international team while punishing them by forcing Trippier to miss at least 13 games for his club and none for his country.
Benjamin Mendy will be the subject of an internal investigation by Manchester City, with the club disappointed at the defender for breaking of COVID-19 isolation rules.
Mendy invited 3 people from outside his household to a New Year's Eve party at the 26-year-old's home. The Frenchman's act could infuriate Pep Guardiola, as the manager has constantly reiterated a message of safety and consideration regarding the virus. A City spokesperson said the club is aware of a New Year's Eve COVID-19 breach involving Benjamin Mendy and the subsequent media reporting of it.
Paris Saint-Germain have hired the former Tottenham manager Mauricio Pochettino as their new head coach.
The Argentinian succeeds Thomas Tuchel, who was sacked by the League One club last month. Pochettino had been out of the game since leaving Spurs in November 2019. The 48-year-old Pochettino, who made 95 appearances for PSG as a player between 2001 and 2003, has signed a contract in the summer of 2022. "I'm really happy and honored to become the new coach of Paris Saint-Germain," he said. Tuchel guided PSG to the Champions League final for the first time last season, but the German paid the price for a relatively modest start to the current campaign.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you the bulletin, thank you for watching. Have a good night.